So I'm actually looking at a normal person sitting across the way on their front porch eating breakfast on their table. Now, I've never seen that before. I've watched that house for 20 years, and I've never seen a normal person sitting out eating breakfast, reading a book on their front porch. Most of the time they're drinking, arguing, fighting. Jerry Springer, she's just chilling. Reality has shifted. Reality has shifted. Are normal people coming back? Are we getting normal people? I remember just sitting out back, yard, reading my Bible, reading a book, chilling. Are normal people coming back? She's actually reading a book and eating some breakfast. Are the normal people coming back? Are we finally getting people who are normal? Normal behavior, normal actions, normal words, normal relationships. It's really wild stuff, to be honest. I sent somebody an email yesterday, day before. I said, what do we do with people who haven't hit source code, haven't read the response yet? But what do we do how do we get people to source code, What do we do with these people who don't want source code? Who can't see the code, and they just get stuck in the 3D maze, the 3D circus around the mountain. I'm not judging them. I used to be that way. And we used to think like that. Those of us who hit source code, we used to think like that. We're just going to work, going home. What is this about? Got to pay the bills. The bills due, blah. Got to do this. Running like a chicken with your head cut off, And if you try to date a 3D creature who's just running around the circuit and has no idea that everything they say is source, God forbid if you marry one, because you'll be going crazy they'll try to lock you up from being crazy. It's kind of like Groundhog Day. So the guy started seeing the guy in Groundhog Day, he started seeing the repeat, and everybody else around him was just they were in linear time, right? They didn't see the repeat. He would get up every morning and it's the same stuff every day. And that's what those of us who hit source code, we realize it's the same stuff every day. Now you get to a point after you hit source code that you realize you can actually manipulate the simulation with your thoughts and with your actions, and the seed that you sow you will reap what seeds you sow, whether it's your words, your actions, your behavior, responses, and all that. So every choice and every word and every action sows a seed. And you can actually manipulate the simulation. You're actually doing it anyway without even knowing it. But most people, because they don't know it, they got the noise on, the music, the TV, and everything else. And so they're being manipulated by the system, the matrix. The 3D matrix is creating their reality for them. When I went back, I stepped out of 5D into 3D for a month or two, and when I started stepping back into 5D, the old stuff started coming back, where I got getting free stuff all the time. I got this dresser that I cleaned it up last night, and I got to clean the drawer. It's like nine drawers in it, 9 shelves or drawers, and I threw it over in the corner in the living room and put my row would be battery chargers on top, and got them off the floor, and it was like perfect setup, you know. And so free stuff, hard work, sowing the seed, peaceful thoughts, getting back in the groove. You know, it's hard to live amongst the 3D creatures who are so worried about whatever they're worried about when it's already, you know, every problem has a solution. 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 Can you hear me? Every problem has a solution. Every problem, the solution was already there before the problem appeared. Now you say, well, how's that? Because you go back to first principles. The lamb slain before the foundation of the world. So the solution to sin was already there before the foundation of the world. So if that's true for your sin, it's true for everything else. The solution was there before the problem appeared. And if you can remember that and live in it and believe it, that's a source code knowledge. When you go back to first principles as the archetypes in your life, then everything is solved before it even appears. Every problem is solved before the problem appears. And if you're dealing with somebody who has certain patterns, those patterns didn't start today. They started a long time ago. And for somebody to break the patterns, they're going to have to go back to where that pattern started. And recognize the pattern, and then there's always a solution for a pattern, right? How do you fix an old bad pattern? You start new patterns. If you had an evil girlfriend, you'd want to get rid of that and start a new pattern, get a good girlfriend, if that's what you want. You're better off being single. It's better. Paul said in 1 Corinthians 7, it's better for a man to stay single, to be honest with you. But in this 3D world, you're going to have trouble no matter what you do. Man born of woman's full of trouble as the sparks fly upward. And so when you really hit source code and start to meditate on source code, you simplify your life. You break your life down into its very smallest parts, and you live a simple life. And when you live that simple life, everything starts to flow better, smoother. The only way to live down here is to live the simple life. When you start to complicate life, things get a little bit out of hand too fast. And you know it's true because when you look at a tree or a bird or a squirrel or dog or cat or whatever, they live a simple life and they're in peace. And so when you look at those animals living a simple life, but the human has complicated their life, that's why they don't have any peace. The simple life is the best life. The more stuff you add into the mix, the more complicated things can get. And so the secret, if you do want to add stuff in the mix, really get good at the other stuff. But it's just like a no-brainer. It's automatic, like boom, 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 boom. You knock it out, whatever it is, and you get it done. And then add one other. Then if you want to add something else, really get good at it and go through the cycles. I call it the simulation. Really get good at it. Go through the simulation. Get it done. You know, just get it done. Get her done. And so the more stuff you add, you have to get really good at it. And before, let's say you add a new bill, before the bill is due, do the simulation and pay it. Pretend like you're going to pay it right there on the spot. Go through the cycle. And you know how these companies change their system around. Just go through the cycle. Back to the question, what do we do with people who haven't hit source code yet? We know they're in drama, because that's, until you hit source code, you're in drama. And so, because the system is drama, the purpose of the drama is to birth out the baby, the inner man, into source code. So as you're going about your drama, I gotta have this, I gotta do this, I gotta go here, I gotta do this, blah, 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 always something, right? So the drama is to birth the source code in you. And then when you finally wake up to the drama and say, everything is drama down here. Why is everything drama? Then you start to look for source code. And once you hit source code, you see the drama was a Draco Ma birthing system to birth you into source code knowledge. But if you stay in that drama your whole life and you let other people keep you in the drama, you never find peace. Jesus is source code, but the understanding or having the mind of Christ takes some work. And to get to the mind of Christ, everybody does it a different way. I went through the etymology. Other people might go through shapes and symbols and colors and everything else. I'm pulling up at this drive-thru, and there was nobody in the drive-thru, and then all of a sudden there's like 20 people in the drive-thru. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you really think that's a coincidence? That is wild stuff. So once you hit source code, you start to see drama. You know that person has no deeper understanding of really what this reality's root is about. And so you either stay in it and help them and try to pull them out of it, or if they're not going to make any progress and just stay in the Jerry Springer drama, then you just have to just step out, step away, because you can't go backwards. Once you've done the work, the inner work, you can't go backwards. If you can't pull them up out of the miry clay of the drama of the Draconian system, they love the Draco devil's death cult. You can't pull them up out of it. You just step away. You know, that's all you can do. I woke up today, I got my new hobby, redoing furniture. So that's my new hobby. Any furniture, any good, nice furniture I find on the side of the road, I'm gonna take my truck, go pick it up, redo it, and either store it or sell it, or if I can use it, I probably have gotten over $1,000 worth of free furniture in the last few months. And you can always sell stuff if you need some cash, So how would you describe source code to a non-source code person? Source code is going back to first principles. The overarching pattern, the red versus blue. The red versus blue is each other facing off with each other, and they're really the same person. It also goes back to communion or communication. And it also goes back together, to get her, together, TOGETHER, to get her, or heirs, joint heirs. That's why the female is more worried about money than man, because she wants to be the heir, the joint heir. The woman's desires unto the husband, because the church is following after Christ. So the female follows after the male, whether she knows it or not. She might think she's a Jezebel and she's leading the man, but she's still following the man, but she don't even know she's following the man. That's the weirdest part. Look at Jezebel. She couldn't do anything without Ahab. Jezebel needed Ahab. And if you got a woman trying to turn you into Ahab, run, because she's going to be having a bunch of flying monkeys trying to manipulate you, you know. And if she'll kill Naboth, she'll kill you. She'll poison you. If she's willing to kill Naboth for his property, she'll kill you. So my point is, there's nothing new under the sun. You look at the stories, you look at the source, and you look at the beginning, the primary, the pre-Mary. Primary is pre-Mary, right? Jesus existed in eternity past before he was born through Mary. So the primary thing is look at the eternity past truth and look at what happened at the cross, the lamb slain before the foundation of the world. Look at what happened there, and it's happening now. What happened at the cross is happening now. I just gave you the source code. It's all happening now. It's nothing new. It's all Truman Show. It's all repeat. It's all scripted. And the whole purpose of the script is to wake you up out of the Christoph fake reality, 3D bubbles. So these 3D bubbles that people create, they think they're slick, but you can see through them. They can't hide. I could say more, but I gotta go. I gotta eat this breakfast.